filming this video really for one purpose and one purpose only, to share with you my dirty blender. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I found an article written on Yahoo about different diets that are actually pretty trendy, and the author just kind of breaks down 10 top diets, and I thought I'd give you kind of my fair share of what's going on, my opinion on these diets, because it's probably one of the things that I'm most frequently asked, which diet actually works. And there's obviously like the top health concerns, weight loss probably being number one, but either way, there's so many of these diets out there, nobody really knows which one to trust, which one's good for them. Everybody's selling them something. Here, I'm not selling you anything. I'm just giving you my personal opinion on what's going on with some of these diets and what I think really is the optimal way of evaluating your diet. Just to give you some tips, it's totally up to you. This is not meant to be medical advice whatsoever. It's really just me sharing an opinion. So don't take it as medical advice. It's just giving you some thoughts. And do your own research, consult with your physician if before going on any kind of diet, as my goal here is not to do you harm, but this is really just my opinion on some of these diets and what might be missing, what might be good about these diets. And so if this interests you, stay tuned.
If I'm going down as the greatest. If I'm going up, I'm writing pages in this book we call history. Dream unrealistically, in the world where people laugh at you for thinking differently. Ironically, the one they call the loser got the victory.
In the meantime, check out this blender. I just wanted to show you, for those of you who think you don't really have time to make smoothies in the morning, it's so dirt easy. Just throw whatever you want in a blender, fruits and vegetables primarily, mostly vegetables, and then some fruit to sweeten, your choice. Right? No matter what, when you're talking about diets, increasing fruit and vegetable content time and time again is the most healthy. There are other topics associated with it, such as pesticides, herbicides. Is organic really better? Is it a scam? There's all of these different ideas surrounding that, but those are separate issues. The bottom line is we know consuming more fruits and vegetables are healthy, so that's why smoothies are such a good idea. I convinced my wife to buy the Vitamix. This is like a $500-600 blender. Blendtec, by the way, they're about $300-400, just as good. The bottom line is you just need a powerful enough blender to liquefy vegetables, especially green leafies, because if you put them in say like a Magic Bullet or something, it won't liquefy it. It'll just be chunky and disgusting, and you won't be able to actually drink it. But I don't know, when I watch these videos of people using these expensive blenders on YouTube and TV, they look pristine. Maybe they're putting it in the dishwasher. I actually haven't tried putting this in the dishwasher. It's still made of kind of like a hard plastic. It's BPA free, fine. I don't like it, scorching hot water. In fact, they use these to make hot soups. If you blend it on a high setting for long enough, let's say a few minutes worth, the friction will create a soup. Literally, it'll heat your vegetables into like a delicious delicious soup. But, just the idea of heating plastic, I just don't really like. But so maybe I'll try it. But either way, I just wanted to show you guys, this wasn't a waste of money. I actually use it. I'm sorry for banging. That probably sounds really annoying on the video. But this is my blender, and I'm proud of it. My wife gave me hell for putting this in some of my previous videos, saying, you got to have more self-respect than that. Showing a kitchen with splatter all over the place. But, I want you guys to know that I actually use this thing, and I love it, and, well, that's basically all I have to say about that.
If I'm going down as the greatest. If I'm going up, I'm writing pages in this book we call history. Dream unrealistically, in the world where people laugh at you for thinking differently. Ironically, the one they call the loser got the victory. I ain't even made it yet, already hate it, sick of me. Like how you blowing up, it's gotta be some sort of trickery. The whereabouts of better rappers still remain a mystery. I wouldn't tell a lie, tell me what I got to hide. Yeah, I started at the bottom, wasn't feeling the vibe, so I moved up, and now let's something she wanna ride. I said I don't got a car, she said I know, but you got drive. Could barely look her in her eyes with them double D's on her. I ain't talking just size, cause when I say D's, I mean distraction in disguise. But I knew that we collide, so it came as no surprise. Now she wanna drop it low, I just wanna drop a track. Everybody want the ball, now they hanging from the sack. What you lame so far behind me, what's the point of looking back? Sometimes I sit and ask myself why I'm still living in the past. Wasn't given what I asked, what I had was always taken. Pretty soon I'ma be getting more than half of what you making in a year. For my shows, and the time is drawing near. Biggest shout out to my fans, cause I know just what y'all fear. But I swear I never change, I'd rather live my whole life famous, cause there's so much more to life than me than being rich and famous.
And that's kind of here's sort of my cheat sheet. Basically you see a lot of similarities with these diets. Bone broth diet, Weight Watchers, that's a system. The Mediterranean diet, you're decreasing red meat, increasing healthy fats, and while also increasing veg and fruits. Atkins, essentially it's a low carb, no starchy vegetables. Nutrisystem, again, another system. Jenny Craig, another system. So basically where the system sort of figures it out for you, basically in terms of calories. Some have like a number system, so instead of 200 calories it might be 2, and so forth. They also prepare their own food, so you can buy, in some cases actually you have to buy their food, but it's sort of a done for you program where you're consuming whatever they tell you to consume, and then at the end of the day you lose weight. It's more of a weight loss diet than actually a lifestyle diet in many cases. I mean, you can make your arguments that weight loss definitely is a healthy lifestyle choice, usually if it's done properly, but you know what I mean. DASH is more for hypertension specifically, to lower blood pressure, increase heart health. But, they include a lot of fat-free, low-fat dairy products. You have to be careful of those. You have to really become a label expert with low-fat, fat-free products. The idea behind low-fat in some cases can be really good, but because fat, depending on the type of fat, can be pro-inflammatory, and there's all sorts of problems with fat depending on so many situations, which actually I talk about in my book a lot. It's not published yet. It's a draft book, but I definitely do talk about it. And basically you really have to be careful on the ingredient list. A lot of these low-fat products have a ton of ingredients that you really just don't want in there, such as mono and diglycerides, just chemicals. They add chemicals. So when they reduce the fat in a lot of things, take ice cream for instance, or certain yogurts, or even just I don't know, even just like creams, 5% cream instead of the 10% and so forth. You add more and more additives like polysorbate 80 and so forth. It's just disgusting chemicals that they add in there that I don't think is healthy at all. So that's basically it. Self Beach Diet, very, very famous. It goes in phases. So as you graduate to different phases of the diet. Interesting, people take baby steps. The anti-inflammatory diet, Andrew Weil, he was on Larry King like 5 or 6 times, Harvard graduate. I actually ate at his restaurant in Arizona, very good. They had a chia pudding, which was fantastic. And basically it's an anti-inflammatory diet, and he has sort of like a food pyramid, guides you through different sort of like anti-inflammatory type foods. Ultimately, these diets, here's what I think about all these diets in a nutshell, without giving too much information. Again, this isn't meant to be medical advice. At the bottom line of it is I agree with what the author said in the very beginning, is that the best diet often is a diet that will work for you, something that you'll stay on, but ultimately to add to that is something you're going to stay on and feel great on and get the results that you desire, whatever that is. It's not always about weight loss. It might be about skin health. It might be about improving skin health, whether it be wrinkles or acne or redness, inflammation somewhere. You might have aches and pains. A lot of people have sensitivities to certain foods that they're eating. So pro-inflammatory, you can't just throw food into a category of pro or anti-inflammatory. It's not that simple. Everybody reacts differently. I find if I eat too much bread, especially later on in the day, and it depends on the type of bread, I get heartburn. If I eat chocolate later in the day, I get heartburn. If I have a beer and a slice of pizza, I mean, that's bloating, heartburn city waiting to happen. It's just not good. Some of my friends, they could easily do that. They could tuck in their stomach and, have rock hard abs having a slice of pizza and beer. It doesn't faze them whatsoever. So it really depends on the individual. The anti-inflammatory diet, people are sensitive to different foods. Naturopathic doctors are obsessed with food sensitivities, I find, by and large. And so actually booking an appointment, a lot of NDs will have free consultations. So if you're looking to go on a specific diet to reduce inflammation or as a lifestyle change, or you have some sort of health concern that you think might be diet related, or you think the diet can help, go book a free consultation with a local naturopathic doctor and inquire further about it. What they'll do is they'll evaluate your diet, and they'll be able to sort of point out foods that you might be sensitive to, and there's various ways of testing for it. You can either test for it in labs. I should have videos on this. I really should. I should create content more. If this is interesting to you, just let me know and I will. But there's labs you could take, and it'll tell you certain sensitivities that you have. Otherwise, you can go on the hypoallergenic diet. It's by far the hardest, but by far the least expensive and most effective way of telling whether you are sensitive to a food or not. It's called the hypoallergenic diet. ask your naturopathic doctor about it, and they'll put you on it, or at least discuss it with you. It's a very, very effective way of sort of taking out the foods that might be causing you harm and then introducing other foods that can be very, very healing. Ultimately, that's what I think a diet is. A diet should be something, it should be a lifestyle change, a healthy lifestyle change that makes you feel great, that improves whatever outcome you're trying to achieve to help you reach your health goals. And, you know, it is hard, but like with anything in life, anything that's a little bit of a challenge, we respond to very, very well, just like in my last video, whether it be working out, smoothies, meal prep. One problem I have a lot with these system diets is that the meals are prepared for you and you lose control. One of the greatest things about cooking and preparing your own food, even though it's time consuming, even though you know you might not be a professional chef and you might not know right away how to cook different recipes. I'm very limited in the amount of recipes that I cook, but ultimately you have all the control. You control what goes in your body, and that's something you don't want to give away. That's freedom. People have all these ideas about political freedoms. They get so riled up over loss of freedom. I just saw a video where someone was crossing. They weren't crossing a border. They were going down the street in New Mexico, and they were stopped by these like border police, basically. And they weren't at a border, and they were asked whether they were an American citizen or not, and the person refused. It's going viral now. It was a teacher that refused to let them know whether she's an American citizen or not. Freedoms, right? You have rights. Well, losing control over your diet, one of the most basic fundamental attributes of being human. We need to eat. You don't want to lose control over that. Cook your own food. Learn to cook. If you don't know how to cook, learn it. There's a thing called YouTube. There's experts. Take your cooking class. Do it as a family. It's actually really, really fun. It's a time of engaging with each other and having that time together instead of just staring at Netflix on separate computers like I do with my wife. I hate it. It's such a waste of time. I think we really need to get back to our roots, because this knowledge, you know, our grandparents might have been great cooks, and all of a sudden we don't know how to cook. That's a travesty. You've lost something inherently so important. I think that it starts in the kitchen. It really does. It starts with meal prep. It starts with cooking healthy, wholesome, nutrient-dense meals. And ahead of time, if you have a busy lifestyle, it's the greatest way to save time. So that's really what I have to say about all these diets. If you have any questions, hit me up on the comment section. Email me, DM me on Instagram. It's Robert Horovitz, robert@lifelongwell.ca. And, you know, let's do this together. Whatever I can do to add value, I will. And again, not medical advice, just an opinion. That's all. So I hope it has merit, and I hope it helps you out in some way.
Cause I'm sky high. I'm sky high. I'm sky high.